Hello there, welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with one of the main set legendary creatures that I've tried to turn into a commander deck for your enjoyment. This is the first video. There'll be fewer videos for the next couple of weeks. As you know, I'm on holiday, if you watched the little short video that went up yesterday. So, hey, we're here, but we're still going to cover some of the Bloomburrow ones. We've got two Bloomburrow ones, maybe three if I get the time, and definitely one from an older set that I've been asked to cover. But we're kicking off this week with the Infamous Cruelclaw. One black and red for a 3/3 Weasel Mercenary legendary creature. I think it's the only Weasel that's come through ever. I can't think of another one. But has Menace, and whenever the Cruelclaw deals damage, combat damage for a player, exile cards from the top of our library until we exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. Now, two things to be aware of. We are exiling the cards. They don't go back into our library or our graveyard. They just stay in exile until we hit something we want to cast. And you always need to make sure you've got a card in your hand to discard to cast the thing that you've just exiled. So bear that in mind with this deck. But wow, what a commander. I'm really looking forward to playing this one when I get back from holiday and seeing how good it is on stream. Speaking of which, down below, come and follow me on Twitch over there. Also, if you haven't been here before, hit the subscribe button. Help me out while I'm on holiday. Yeah? Anyway, this is what today's deck looks like. Starting at the beginning, we have some things that will help us cast the creatures, or the spells we've got, because it is quite hard. So Dockside kicks it off with Generous Plunderer as well to give extra treasures to us. I do like Generous Plunderer for the fact that when you attack you get to deal damage, and since we're playing Commander, a lot of people have artifacts in place. They do take damage quite happily. Inti, Essential of the Sun, lets us discard one or more cards. We may exile the top card of our library, so a little bit of a link in with the Infamous Cruelclaw here, and then we can play that card until your next end step. So yeah, happy with that. Stormfist Crusader just gives us another way of drawing cards. Yes, we lose a little bit of life to do it, but hey, it's got Menarche, so we'll get through. Broadside Bombardiers, Menace and Haste, another way of getting through. A little bit of menace thing going on here, but we can sacrifice a creature off that might be about to kill us. Stormfist Crusader, I'm looking at you, to deal full damage to anything. So yeah, that's pretty good. I did think about playing Wheel of Fortune in this deck, but I decided it'd be more fun to play Magus of the Wheel. You can, if you've got one on MTGO like I have, or you've got one in real life and you're very rich, hello, welcome, please hit the subscribe button. You can swap it over, but I decided to play the Wheel for a change. Squeak Goblin Naboo is important. This is one of the cards we do want to be discarding to get things going through when we hit with the Infamous Cruelclaw, because this comes back to our hand every turn in the upkeep, so that does help. Another great one to get discarded is Anger, so make sure everything has haste, because we will have mountains in play. I went with Decadent Dragon just so we can do the whole instant adventure if we need to, and then get him some flying trample, and when we attack we get a treasure token, so that's pretty useful to cast some of the stuff. Disciple of Bolus is here to sack a creature off if we need to and gain some life and draw some cards, which is very helpful with this deck. You do tend to be low on life at some stages. Prosper, the Tombbound, is also here. Beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library, cast it at the beginning to the end of your next turn, and whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. It works really well with the Infamous Cruelclaw because the card we're going through our library for is exiled, and we cast it from exile, so we get a treasure token if Prosper's in play. Alcazod Deepest Betrayal is really here for hopefully to transform into a land at some stage. But when we get to the attack, the lifelink's quite nice. The opponents can't discard, you get to draw, and whenever an opponent discards the land, you get a bat. And then when Alcazod dies, you get the land thing, so it's all good. Bloodgift Demon is just another way of drawing each. You can ping an opponent, just bear that in mind. If you've got just one damage short, you can make them lose a life and draw a card, but otherwise you're going to be doing this and drawing the cards. It's quite a nice one to get into play, and this is where we start really hitting the things that we're going to be looking at discarding cards for to play. So Bone Horde Dracosaur is in just to give us some dinosaurs and maybe some treasures with a bit of luck. Goldspan gives us some treasures, and then Porphyros the Bronze Blooded also turns up, gives all our creatures haste, which is helpful. Terror of the Peaks is the one we really do like to see in play. When it comes in, when another creature enters the battlefield, we get to deal damage to any target equal to its power, so that's nice. They're the ones I know I said possibly, these are the possible discard target ones, but these are the ones we want to try and cast if we can before we start doing the tricks with Cruelclaw, because from here on it gets quite expensive to cast some of the creatures. Burning Sun's Avatar comes into play effect, so 3 damage to opponent, 3 damage to one creature. Combustible Gear Hulk means we either going to, if that player doesn't take the, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If that player doesn't, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, and the Gear Hulk deals damage to that player equal to total converted mana cost. Chances are they give you 3 cards. Grave Titan gives you some zombies to block with. Noxious Gear Hulk blows up an annoying creature for you, and you gain life equal to its toughness. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 non-land, non-token permanents. If they don't, draw 2 cards. Thank you. Gives us more card draw, so we've got fodder for the Cruelclaw. Trumpeting Carnosaurs in, maybe to do the 3 damage to a creature or player, but hopefully when it ends the battlefield we'll do the Discovery 5 bit, which is nice. Sheldred, Whispering One. Yep, everyone sacks a creature in their upkeep, and we get to return one from our graveyard from our graveyard to the battlefield. Archfiend of Cruel Despair comes back in. I think this was in Battle Bond in one of the commander decks. Your opponents can't gain life, and at the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost that turn. Nice. Archon of Cruelty, obviously a lovely one. Enters the battlefield, target opponent sacks a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, loses life. You draw a card and gain 3. Cityscape Leveler, whenever we cast this, whenever it attacks, it destroys up to 1 target non-land permanent, and its controller gets a Power Stone. Yeah, but it's an 8/8 that blows things up. Bit like Artisan of Kozilek has Annihilator 2, and he gets to bring a card from your creature guard from your graveyard back to the battlefield. Phyrexian Triniform will give people a nightmare when it comes in and then gets killed off because it leaves behind 3 little copies of itself, and then you can encore it if you want to. A bit like Triplicate Titan gives you a Flying Vigilance Trample Titan. Golem, sorry, but when it dies you get a Golem with each of those 3 abilities. I've had a bit of fun. Desolation Twin. I would like to be able to do this, discard a card and get 2 10/10s into play. Yes, they don't have any evasion whatsoever, but 2 10/10s is a lot of problems for people to get with and deal with. And then we have a few of the Eldrazi leaders if you want. You can mix and match these if you want to, but I went with the Butcher of Troth to get the 4 cards and the Annihilator 4. His Great Distortion variation as well to draw some more cards, and then gives away counter stuff. And then Ulamog, the Infinite Year, to destroy a permanent when it gets cast, Annihilate 4, and is indestructible. As you can see, it's quite heavy with expensive casting costs at the top end here. So you really need to make sure Infamous Cruelclaw stays in play, and we have ways of doing it. So, spell-wise, Strike it Rich for some treasures, along with Thriller possibility to draw some cards. Big score for treasures and cards. Damnation to control the board. And then some of the big spells we're hoping to cast off the Cruelclaw. Blood Money to blow everything up and get treasure tokens. Brass's Bounty to get even more treasure tokens. Breach the Multiverse so we can nick everyone's best card in their top 10. Hit the Motherlode to do the Discover 10 bit, and then if the Discover card's mana value is less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference. Call forth the Tempest, Cascade, and then do a whole load of damage to each creature your opponents control equal to the total mana of the spells you've cast this turn. Yeah, okay then. Decree of Pain, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated, draw a card for each creature destroyed this way, or you can cycle it if you need to do -2/-2 if you've got a load of small token opponents. Blasphemous Act really is the original board control card for Commander as far as I'm concerned. Plague Wind, destroy all creatures you don't control. And then Rise of the Dark Realms, nick everybody's creatures, hopefully after you've cast one of these to wipe them all out in the first place. Because of the casting costs we've got on here, we have had to go a little bit heavy on the ramp. So we have got Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. We've got one of each of the medallions, the Rakdos Signet, and that's it for the artifact ramp. But it's worth pointing out this. Brotherhood Regalia from Assassin's Creed. Equipped creature has Ward 2, is an assassin in addition to its other types, and it can't be blocked. And it costs you 1 to put it on the Infamous Cruelclaw. The only thing it's missing is giving it haste, but Ward 2 is difficult, and being unblockable, really good with Cruelclaw. Likewise, that's why we have Key to the City in here as well, so we can make it a discard a card, assuming we've got a few cards in our hand, to make Infamous Cruelclaw unblockable that way. We have the boots to give us a little bit of hexproof and protect us, and Trailblazer boots, which I completely forgot about until someone reminded me of it. Equipped creature has non-basic land walk. When have you ever played in Commander someone who is not playing, who is just playing pure basics? Basically, this is always making the Infamous Cruelclaw unblockable in Commander. Wedding Invitation turns up, gives you a one-shot, making it unblockable. And then Whisper Silk Cloak, Shroud and can't be blocked for 2 mana. Yep, expensive, 3 to cast, 2 to equip, but going on the Cruelclaw, yes, thank you very much. 3 little enchantments, nothing too much. Black Market Connections, so we can get a treasure or draw a card if we need to. Does cost you 2 life, but it does give you that card you may need to discard off when you've exiled something with the Infamous Cruelclaw. Fever, make sure all your creatures have haste, along with Rising of the Day. It gives everything haste, plus it gives, you know, the Cruelclaw a little bit of a pump, making it a 4/3 instead of a 3/3. Land-wise, black and red lands all the way through. A couple of things I will point out. Access Tunnel. Target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn for 3 mana. So that's the Cruelclaw sorted out again. Beyond that, there is the other version of it somewhere further down. Sorry, I will find it in a second. Rogue's Passage. There we go. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. There. See, we can make the Infamous Cruelclaw unblockable even though it has Menace. So, yeah. Or she, it, them have Menace. So, a little bit heavy. 11 mountains, 10 swamps, and a Tainted Peak. You can probably play around with these if you want to, but I was trying to build this deck at a reasonable pace, and I decided to just go with a heavy basic load for a change. My choice. If you don't like it, feel free to change it. I completely understand if you will do. And that is it. That's my take on the Cruelclaw to kick the week off with. I'm just going to see how many videos I get, so keep your eyes on the YouTube channel. If you're subscribed down below, obviously you'll know when they come live. Hopefully I'll get my usual 4 out, but I've got a feeling it may be 3 because of the time constraints I'm facing at the moment, but we will see. But I'll be back tomorrow with yet another Bloomborough one, and then a special one for a follower on whenever the next video comes up after that this week. So for now, thanks for watching, take care. I'll see you when I'm back from holiday on my stream. See you later. Bye.